Hey, I'm meant to be live. I'm just sorting out the setup. I've not been live on YouTube in ages. I've got my phone up here because I want to be able to read comments properly if I can't see them. So, I have been on a holy race trip. Let me just get all my rings out of my pockets. To Scotland to visit some of the megalights that are assigned to the Leo constellation. Obviously, we're in Leo season or light on at the minute, and we had an Aquarius full moon. Leo and Aquarius are two sides of the same coin, basically. They're both kind of like a pair. So whenever you've got your full moon, that's when the light is most powerful in that light on, basically. So if you utilize the full moons, then you're really utilizing the maximum light that's coming from the cosmos at that time for each of the months, basically, in zodiac signs that is active. Hi, Ron. Hi everyone, hee, thanks for joining. Yama, did you actually manage to do your 28 ray challenge? Because I don't know if you saw my video, but I'm so embarrassed. I didn't manage to do mine. Things just got in the way, but I was saying in my video that it's okay because there's always time to start again. And I was able to actually get into the hang of doing music every day now, so I'm glad about that. There's only like a couple of days that I missed, which is why I didn't necessarily manage to do the 28 ray challenge. But yeah, so I've been to the megalights, and whichever light on it is, or season it is, or zodiac we're in, whenever you utilize the full moon, you're getting the full power, because the season or the light on the zodiac that the sun is in, the sun's giving that the energy and that charge, and then the sun's obviously the divine masculine, the moon being the divine feminine light that charges things on this plane. She then is shining her light through the opposite sign, and it's obviously the opposite sex, the feminine masculine. So it's so potent and powerful, and it's like two powerful forces coming together as one united and like just really powerful time to utilize the energies of that zodiac, because that's when the energies are just going to be most potent. Your Mars says you saw the video last night and you're the same. You had to pause and recalibrate. It happens. But you learn so much. This is the thing, is that even if something doesn't go exactly how you planned it to go, you can just learn I don't like the word lessons, but because to lessen something is to like make it less, you're lessening it. So you can find growth in everything. There's always an opportunity for you to go, hey, do you know what? I learned something there. And for me, with doing the challenge, I basically learned. Joking. I learnt. What did I learn? I did it all in the video. It's just that my mind's gone blank now. I learned that, yeah, that's it. It reignited my passion for doing my music again. And that's really, really the whole reason why I started it in the first place, is that I wanted to get doing my music again. But I've been having like these. With my music, I've been doing music for about 10 years. I did my music before my spiritual awakening stuff. So I was sharing my music for ages, and my socials were all just about my music. And then I started having my spiritual awakening and sharing that. And then that seems to be what people enjoy listening to. So then I carried on doing my music, but I just kind of kept feeling like, anytime I would try and sing, and this isn't actually a feeling, this is actually true. Anytime I was trying to record myself for my songs, I was getting really bad energy. I was getting psychic attacked whilst I was trying to record. And so the problem with that is obviously while I'm recording, my voice is going and getting like recorded into a song and that's that exact recording. My voice basically acts like a portal. It acts like a portal. So then anytime anyone's listening to that song, it's acting like a portal to the energy that I've imbued into it. So I have to have good energy anytime I'm singing because it's going to be stamped into the song. So anytime I'm trying to record, I like have really good energy. I'll charge myself up. I'll be grounding all day. I'll have a really good rain no day. And then like I'm trying to record, and the minute I start recording, I'm getting like pummeled with bad energy, and I keep having to try and get rid of it. And I don't know whether it's like some people in my life didn't want me to do music, and so like every time I try and record, I get these negative spells on me that other people are putting on me, like they don't want me to be a good singer or they don't want me to be successful. And so anytime I go to do that task, all their beliefs, all their energies and their spells that they've put on my life throughout the past all up until now, they like that energy comes back to me anytime I do that task, because that's kind of how spells can work. They can attack you at the times when they can attack you at certain times, to kind of like stop and block you doing certain things that you're about to do to better yourself and things like that. So let's say, for example, you wanted to eat healthy. The spells won't attack you to eat junk food when you're really loving eating your healthy food. But if you're feeling low or something, that's when the spells will attack you, where it's easier for them to get you to eat junk food in those low moments. And it's like they've got like the energy, the demons, the spells. It's like they have like an intelligence or an awareness of like being able to attack. And obviously space and time, it doesn't really exist. So like you could just cast a spell to someone and it can affect them in the future or the past or any time, any place, anywhere. Basically you can cast a spell just by saying something negatively about someone across the world and it can attack them straight away. So it's getting bad energy. I don't know if it was actually people putting bad spells on me, which I used to think it was, like people who just don't want me to do well in music. But then another thing I'm thinking now is gang stalkers. I don't know if you guys have heard about gang stalkers, but basically people using energy weapons. The I don't know if it started in like the CIA or something, but basically people talking about like American three-letter agencies using spyware, using like energy weapons and surveillance to surveil people, not just like wherever they go outside, but even like looking into your home and stuff. And they've got the technology to be able to literally see where you are in your house, like to be able to see kind of like what you're doing, what you're thinking, even how you're feeling. And they can use electromagnetic frequencies to attack you, put thoughts in your head, make you feel certain ways, physical attacks where it feels like that you've had like a dagger stabbed into your side. You can feel cords attaching to your nightmares and your dreams, trying to make you think or do things that you wouldn't normally think or do. They can even make some people physically say stuff that they don't want to say, or wipe your memory, or make you think you've done something you haven't done, or put fake memories in your mind, or synthetic telepathy where it sounds like God's speaking to you and it's not. It's actually just some people playing Sims on real humans, and basically they're just like demon infested beings who are here to try and originally, I think that their cover was they're trying to spy on terrorists and make sure that terrorists aren't like, well, spy on terrorists basically. But what they're actually doing is experimenting on the human population and spying on the everyday person, and not only spying on them, they're actually trying to cause them to do harm. They're not like trying to stop harm, they're actually trying to cause it. And so they basically just trying to make people lose their light and lose their soul so that they can't ascend. And so real people experience it. So many, it surprised me actually how many people are experiencing it. So that's why I was thinking then, I wonder as well whether my music thing is just them. Every time I go to try and record, they're casting energy weapons or black magic on me because they don't want me to release my music or what, I don't really know. So I have to fight it. And so that's why I thought if I at least do this whole 28 ray thing, challenge myself to do an hour of music for 28 rays, maybe I'll get back into it, because I was like, because of all the bad energy around it, it made me not even want to do it anymore. But that's what God's given me as my main gift, really, is being able to create songs and sing and like share, and obviously sound healing and things like that. So I'm so aware that there's so much I'm so aware. Hang on. I'm just thinking that because there's obviously um people laughing and stuff. We might even have like gang stalkers in the chat watching us and stuff. So just kind of be aware of trolls and things. Um, but yeah, kind of got back into my music again because of the 28 ray challenge, which is good, and I've kind of shed the bad energy and shed the spells. So yeah, I'm just seeing planting seeds. It says, I think saw you do a thing where you get the sun's light and reflect the sun's light using metal onto people, and a gold bracelet reflecting the sunlight in your face, and whilst grounding felt really good. Yeah, it feels so good. It's funny actually, like obviously the sun is so charging and cleansing and just so simple like that. This is the thing, is that magic is so simple. Magic doesn't have to be like massive rituals or difficult. I remember when I first started like learning about magic and getting into it. Yeah, planting seeds, by the way, the nanoparticles and 5G. The 5G seems to be another way that they've upped their surveillance, because they can now use the towers not only to look more deeply, I believe, into like people's homes and stuff, but they can actually use the towers. They can use nanoparticles or heavy metals in people's foods in their bodies as like almost a transmission device, where they can kind of use that as a transmitter to then transmit an attack. But they can also use just human beings and their chakra portals and their eyes and animals' eyes and stuff. So that's why I think that there's actually a magic element to it as well, or maybe there's different types. But magic really is just any energy manipulation. So magic and kind of energy weapons and like, or energy and stuff, it's all really the same thing. Yay, my song Millionaire. Yeah, Millionaire. It's probably one of my favorites that I've written. I love my song Millionaire. I'm still waiting on my million because I wrote that song. Because I've been writing songs that came true. I wrote a couple of songs that came true. There's one called which one was it first? We've got The Old Man. Yeah, so there's just one I'll talk to as an example. And I'd written this song about it was called The Old Man. I was like 15. And it's such a silly title for a song, but it was called The Old Man. And the song basically just said, like, I was like young, living my normal life, having to get up, go on the bus, go to school, eat my breakfast before school. It's like just boring, feeling like I had a boring life and kind of the same thing every day, the same routine. And then getting on the bus one day and sitting next to an old man, and then this old man tells me about how you need to live your life and appreciate every day, because life's too short, and like soon he's gonna be passing away, and like in the song he ends up dying, and like me just like being like, wow, life's so short, but I'm so glad of what he taught me. And so that was like this fake made up story that I'd written in this song. And then, like, literally, like a couple of weeks later, I got on the train and I sat down, and then this old man sat next to me. And he was like, just telling me all this stuff about how, like, his sister's just passed away and, like, life's too short and all this stuff. And I was like, what the F? Like, old man, this old man song's come true. So I was like, wow, that's awesome. And there was another time where I'd written this song about this particular like love that was like this love that I felt like was like a soul connection type love. And then again, like a couple of weeks later, there was this like guy that I'd met that was like, I was like, wow, it's a soul connection. Like, thought he was my soulmate at the time. I was like, wow, this is a soul love. I do feel like we were friends like on the other side and stuff. Soul family probably. And then, so that again came true. I was like, wow, I'm a genie. I'm magic. I'm a mage. So I was like, right, I'm going to write a song called Millionaire. I'm going to write all the good stuff in Millionaire. And I'm going to become a millionaire. I'm going to have great health, great wealth, all the stuff that it talks about a millionaire, connection with God and all this. And so I've got most of that stuff, but the £1,000,000 I'm just still waiting on. So, um, but yeah. Hey, Hannibal from Holland. Wow. Hey, from across the sea. So we've just had a full moon in Aquarius, and um, I was saying earlier that I went to Scotland to go and have a look at the different Leo megalights, because the whole of the UK has got three different sections. S24 Sugane. Um, yeah, I love animals. I'll always stand up for the voiceless. Um, So yeah, I've been going to the megalights because they're all there's three different sections in the UK, mainly just like Scotland, England, and Cornwall. Then Ireland has its own, but different kind of groupings of megalights that are all aligned to the whole zodiac. So there's one zodiac in the top, which is pretty much in Scotland. There's one zodiac in north and middle of England, which is the whole like megalights all aligned again to the zodiac. And then there's one lower, so it's called like the lower heavens, the mid plane, and then the higher heavens. And you can basically go and visit the megalights, the megaliths, the stone circles, the quoits, and all that kind of stuff. And when you visit the specific ones, let's say I went to the Leo one, then you go and you get the energy and the light of Leo when you go to them. So this is why I always say, go and travel and explore them all, because the more you connect to the different ones, the more you receive the light and the chi and the energy and the life force of the different zodiacs. And then you fill yourself up and you become whole and complete like a powerful mage, because it's like picking up the traits or the gifts of each of these different zodiacs through going to the land and connecting to the megalights that are aligned to those. And obviously you get healing as well, because the zodiac governs the mood, the body. So if you need like heart healing, go to the Leo place. If you need inspiration for creativity, go to a Leo megalight. If you are needing something for like the lungs, like you need lung healing or you need to clear your lungs, then go to the Gemini, because Gemini governs the lungs. So you can basically go and connect and charge up and receive. So it's really great. And I think that when you are actually in when you're there, when it's actually Leo season as well, it's even more powerful. And if you are a Leo there, you're going to just be so highly charged. Like your magic and your spells will be 10 times more powerful than if you weren't there. And especially if it wasn't Leo season as well. So what do I make of tarot? I think that tarot and the all the cards, the divination and stuff, I think it's great because it really, really helped me when I was first kind of like trying to develop my own connection and get my own guidance. I couldn't hear anything. I wasn't getting messages, and reading cards helped me so much. It gave me so much like clarity and feeling of peace and like feeling safe and feeling guided and supported and connected. So I see why people use them. But what I've had to do is I used to like enjoy giving readings as well. And I still don't have a negative towards them, but I had to disconnect from them because I was using them. And I think that what happens is while you're shuffling the cards and stuff, your higher self can like channel energies through and make certain cards come out. And I think that it's definitely your higher self pulling out the deck and stuff. But I wanted to be able to just go in my head, God, what do I need to do? And just like receive it as a download rather than like using the cards and then relying on the cards and then never building the bridge internally within with God. So I had to like let go of all the cards and have like barely any guidance for ages while I was waiting and trying to like meditate and build this connection with spirit so that I could actually get my own guidance and receive it and hear it or see it or know it rather than using like the relying on the cards and stuff. So planting seeds for Sagittarius, are you in the UK, and would it be like Scotland, Ireland or England that you would be that would be easiest for you to visit? Yeah, Ron, tarot can be very helpful in getting extra input and guidance. It's not the be all and end all, but a tool. That's the thing is there's so many tools. Um, there's so many tools like plant medicines. I was talking about this the other day. Plant medicines is such a powerful tool that God's given us to understand the mind of God and to experience the divine and to ascend and help us expand our consciousness. And then tools can become a crutch, which was me with weed. So I I was at first just smoking weed just to kind of enjoy it a little bit. I never smoked it for spiritual purposes because I was smoking it before I became spiritual. However, I can see why people now would like maybe try and smoke some weed and like do some meditations and stuff, like awesome plant medicine as a tool to experience yourself and to learn more about yourself, amazing. But then for me it was like I need weed, otherwise I'm gonna like be a horrible person. And it was nothing spiritual. It was very much an addiction and a crutch again. So it's important to be able to let go of tools if needed, if they are stifling your growth. I don't know if this is true, but it's possible that you can use a tool and you can get so much out of the tool, but it's possible that you can get so much that then there's nothing more that tool can teach you. So then you have to move on to something else. That might not be true though. You might give me an example where you're like, well, what about this? And then I go on, then that's fair play. Maybe like cacao as an example. Raw cacao, like every time because I do have cacao, so let's just use that as an example. Every time, like say I would do that, I do gain like different types of insight. You open up your energy and you receive different types of things each time. So maybe there's an endless possibility of what you can learn and experience with whatever tools you wish to use. Let's have a look. Brian, you're in Scotland. You went to the Stone Circle in Glasgow. Barefoot on the grass and meditated. It felt great to connect. It's so funny that one because people say that it's been moved and it's like not even a real like one, or it was moved in the 70s or something, but it's still powerful. I've been there and it's got really good energy. That one is aligned to Taurus. So Taurus is like the throat and the throat chakra and the neck. So if you felt like you had a stronger voice afterwards, or you will have received the energy and the light anyway of Taurus. If you guys know anything about astrology, if you look at your chart, there's different areas that you've got an abundance of energy in, and there's different areas that you're lacking in energy. And so that means that in your food, in your body, there's different areas that is like working really well, and there's other areas where you might have problems occur. And so if you look at your zodiac chart, you can do like a health analysis, and you can find the areas that you might have issues and work on them. One of the things that I found is your Chiron. There's a planet called Chiron. If you look where your Chiron is in your chart, it can sometimes tell you an area in your life where you might have challenges. And that's not necessarily even just physical. It could be kind of like spiritual, mental, emotional, but it would tell you, depending on what house it's in, depending on the zodiac that it's in, it'll tell you quite a lot. Like your whole chart tells you so much about yourself. Have any of you guys looked into the gene keys? Because I've heard about it. I've looked a tiny little bit into it, and I'm just like not really sure. The two things I'm not sure about, definitely I love astrology. I definitely am. I agree with that. Two things I'm not sure about is the gene keys and the human design. What do you guys think about those? And planting seeds, I'm going to have a look. If you're in Essex, I would say that you're closest. Let me just have a look. England mega. Just having a look at the megalithic map for England. So yeah, planting seeds. This is the thing is, I think that natural remedies like weed is worth using over man-made stuff and the chemicals and the crap. So using it to help you sleep or using it to help with pain and stuff, like absolutely. For me, like I was only using it to mask my emotional pain and to not face it and deal with it. And so it was like more like I was basically avoiding my shadow work and suppressing it with weed, the same as how some people can just drink themselves silly because they don't want to have to face up to the pain that they were feeling inside. And then it's like at that point where it's not really serving you for your highest good. I'm gonna have a look for the megalithic map of the UK. Just having a little read through the comments. What's my favorite zodiac sign? I don't have one, even my own. Like I am an Aquarius. But actually the real word for it is Aquaria. That's actually the true name of it. So I'm an Aquaria. However, when I first found out I was an Aquaria, I used to love it. Such a typical Aquaria thing, like just thinking like I'm so unique and special. And I used to love being an Aquarian, and I would shout it, or Aquaria, and I would shout it from the rooftops. And then I learned so much about all the others and got humble as well. And like realize we have everyone within us and different balances of each. And I'm just as much, say, a Cancer or a Pisces as I am an Aquaria, really. Like just because you're an Aquarius sun doesn't mean that your moon or your rising or your Mercury is that too. So we're a mix of so many. And so they've all got their part to play. They're all as important as each other. What about the 13th month? I'm still figuring out the calendar and the dates, and I would even love to actually design a calendar, like a proper one, with like all of like the important things you need to know. Because with, when the moon is in your star sign, so the moon at the minute, it's just been a full moon in Aquaria. It's now in I'll show you. It's in Pisces now, because I've got an app on my phone and it shows me the moon there, and it tells me the percentage. It tells me what percentage the moon is and whether it's like Mercury retrograde and if it's in Pisces. And then you open up the app and it shows you, like, you can scroll through to see each day, and it tells you like literally how full the moon is. This is like the month, and you can click on and you can basically really easily see when there's a full moon, when there's a new moon, what star sign it's in, and it's quite good to then plan things around that. So it's in Pisces, and when the moon is in your sun sign, just been in Aquaria for me, then you get extra chi, extra life force energy. The more you get life force energy, the more you build up this life force energy. So you cultivate it, you live what I call the life of light, to build as much chi as you can and to not waste it and not get rid of it. Then you can have enough chi to fill all your chakras with light and ascend your kundalini up to the crown chakra to become enlightened. So with the 13th month, there is 13 moon cycles, but there's 12 sunths. So there's still 12 signs of the zodiac. Ophiuchus is actually a separate one. It stands above the zodiac. It's not a part of the zodiac. What happens is, Ophiuchus is kind of like the enlightened one, and the others are the 12 disciples. So it's kind of like Jesus and his 12 disciples. The 12 signs of the zodiac are the disc disciples, like, because the zodiac's like a disc, it's like a wheel. The 12 disciples, or the 12 knights of King Arthur's table, and then obviously the 12 sunths of the year. And then you've got the 13th, which is King Arthur, which is Jesus Christ. In all the stories, they're all pretty similar because they're all telling the tale of the heavens. And so it's the 13, it's the 12 signs. The 13th is when you ascend your programming, or basically the energies that you've been born with. So because we come in through the zodiac and through our own personal chart, and we're kind of imprinted with that fingerprint of the energies that's going to play out in our lives and who we are on this plane, then it's obviously our challenge to overcome the night within us, to utilize our strong points, to heal our weak points, and to basically create heaven on earth for ourselves and for others. This is all the spiritual work. So when you visit all the different megalights, you collect the chi from all the different megalights, or you abstain from orgasm for a whole year, and every single month you collect the chi from the moon. Every time the moon's in your star sign, you're getting chi, but so you're getting 12 units of chi throughout the year. Then you've got enough chi, and it's the full spectrum of chi, because it's chi of every single zodiac light. Then you have completed the circuit. You are a whole, holy, full, complete consciousness. You've got the gifts and the wisdom of every single zodiac, not just the ones you're born with. And then you are like, you ascend then, because you are the whole, you're a mix of them all. And it's like you become this 13th, which is like the ascended one, the enlightened one, Jesus Christ, King Arthur kind of thing. And so that's where the 13th comes from. And I think the number 13 equates to the letter M, which is like mage, master, messiah, magician. There's loads of words with M, like magic, loads of words beginning with M, that is all to do with this kind of like energetic work, this spiritual work. So yeah, working in an office, does it drive me mad? I work from home most of the time, so it doesn't drive me mad, because it's like freeing in the way that I can just go and like sort out things in the house or have my food whenever I want, and I'm not having to try and make small talk with people or like get dressed up and just go somewhere and drive in traffic and stuff and spend money just to get to an office to spend the whole day there. There's times when I have to go back and work in the office, and then it gets a bit tiring. Like it can just be tiring being there the whole day, the whole way. And I think it's just because like I'm almost like just used to having like the chilled, relaxing, like no one's really bothering you. You can get on with work. You're not having to kind of like socialize and stuff. And because I don't see people often in person, then you kind of do socialize a bit more. So if I if I had it my way, I would just be like not working really. I would just be doing my music, like making money in these different ways, like through my music, through the books, through going traveling around, going to festivals, doing talks, singing at festivals. I'd love to do all kind of stuff like that and make my money that way instead. Brian's an Aquarius. Aquarius in the house. Human design, is it to get higher frequencies and about your biofield, aka aura? Human design, it's kind of like, it's pretty much really similar to astrology, where you just type in like your name, your date of birth, where you're born, what time you were born and stuff. And then it pulls up this chart, and it's basically people explaining all about you to you and all about your life to you. But it's like it's using a different method than astrology. So I don't know who's come up with this and how they know it's real. It just seems like, why can't we just use astrology? It feels like they've just tried to copy astrology, but change it a bit so it seems a bit different and it feels different, and then just market it and sell it to us and like make money off something that you could just get from astrology. And that's the same with that gene keys as well. But I might just be being cynical. I might be being mean. It might be really good. And there's always like different ways people like to learn things. So it's possible that there's other people who just really resonate with human design, or really resonate with like the gene keys. And I know they do because I've seen videos on it actually. So people probably just prefer it to astrology. But because astrology is literally governed by the stars, which were God made, and astrology's been around for hundreds of thousands of years, it's like that I can absolutely trust as like a solid foundation. It feels like everything else is just a copy of astrology rather than something new that adds to what astrology gives us. But astrology, I feel like, covers it all. So why do we need this separate thing that makes it all a bit confusing and weird? Um, so then, what meditation do I like? Honestly, the meditations that I do, they really vary. I just kind of like get guided. So sometimes I like to do like 10 minutes of Wim Hof breath work. So there's like a video on YouTube. It's 10 minutes. It's a guided meditation, Wim Hof guided meditation you put in. It's probably got like 9 million plays. Do meditation. It's like a breath work. It's really easy to follow and it makes you feel so good. Sometimes when I try and sit down to meditate, I don't want to sit still, but I was told by a while ago, like I walked into a church and there was like this old woman and man there, and I don't go to church, but they were like really pleased someone had come in their church, because it was like this tiny little village in the middle of nowhere. They couldn't believe someone had walked in. They were on their own, like the owners or the people that were looking after this church. So I chatted to them a little bit, and they were talking to me about the Bible, and I said, just give me like one piece of advice. Like, Nate, tell me like one story or quote from the Bible that's coming to your mind right now. Because this is when I liked to get the guidance from external sources. For example, trying to watch a video and pick a card and you get your guidance. And I thought, I'll use this opportunity and ask this woman and let her just give me some random guidance, and I'll see if it's decent or not. So I asked her like, comes to mind as some guidance to give me right now. And so she said, "Be still and know that I am God." So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what the F does that even mean though? But when I sit in meditation and I feel my body just can't sit still. My mind's like, be still and know that I am God. And I'm like, I can't sit still. So when I do the breath work, it's like it shakes off any like energy that's keeping me moving. Because sometimes you can have like spells, bad energy that's making you not be able to settle, because our natural state, like literally our state without a body, without a bood, is just a still centered, focused point. If we weren't out our body, it would just be a still focal point of light, and it would be still calm and relaxing and peaceful. It wouldn't be like you've had a coffee, like, and you're like this, but that's what my body used to be like. And so I So yeah, I would do the meditation. It makes me feel so much better, and then it like gets rid of the bad energy, and then I can actually just sit still, and then maybe I'll do an hour, or maybe I'll do half an hour, or maybe I'll do 2 hours, or maybe I'll do 10, 15 minutes. It really varies on what I feel like I need, and like if I feel like I need to really plug in, or if I'm just okay at that moment. And sometimes I like to like do movements like rolling around, like a bit of kundalini yoga and stuff. Sometimes I just like to do some yin yoga and stretching poses whilst I'm keeping my mind quiet and still. And sometimes I like to just keep my eyes open and watch a candle, or focus on being really present, or trying to zone out. I'll do loads of different stuff depending really on what it is that I need at the time. I want to see if I can add people as like a moderator in case we do, because I've seen Ron comments saying we've got some trolls or whatever. I'd noticed people doing like laughing faces while I'm talking as well, but laughing at things that we that's not a joke kind of thing. So I was like well guessing that we had some trolls, but yeah, astrology is so proven. Let's have a look what people are saying. Jesus was the 13th at the table, Christ consciousness exactly Hannibal. Rajveer Blueprint, hey. Vegan Buddhism. It's a vegan from Rasta philosophy makes life worth living. All of the different religions taught. They called it vegetarian in the past, but it was vegan. But every path, unfortunately, in the past had been infiltrated by the night, and so like teachings have been twisted, and there's just been a load of infiltration, unfortunately, where the modern day Christian, I might even call them the New Age Christians, they love to say anyone that's spiritual is New Age, and like it's a negative thing. Well, the New Age Christians are not even, they're not even following Jesus's real teachings, which is a shame. I delete that spell because I don't want to put it on them. I want them to become aware of the black magic that's been on them, and the black magic that's within the Bible, and like within the churches. Not all churches, not all Christians and stuff, but there are things like saying that we can't use magic. Well, actually, that's what the black mages put in there, so that we don't learn to use our power and magic to fight them, and then they can use the black magic against us, and we just go, oh no, we shouldn't do that because God said it's bad. And it's like, no, we're already mages, we're already creating. Everything we say is casting a spell. Everything we think is putting energy out there. So we're already doing it. So we absolutely need to just take control of it and take the power in it, and then like fight the night. And also the whole, oh, Jesus would turn the other cheek. No, Jesus turned the other cheek with a right hook. That's what Jesus would actually do. So yeah, promoting veganism at vegan festivals. I did a bit of vegan activism in Manchester. That's actually where I met my spiritual teacher, and it was quite good. But what I've found what I found about the vegan activism and stuff is like just a bit too much like like resistance or conflict, like when you're trying to talk to people, when you're trying to like share the message and stuff, it's like there's just an underlying energy of angry and agitated, not necessarily the vegans, but even the people you speak to, and I just can't be arsed with that energy. So I like to teach people about veganism for spirituality. I actually found that in the vegan movement, there weren't that many spiritual people. So that surprised me. But when you're like spiritual and vegan, you're better at kind of managing your energy and your emotions. You're not projecting your anger or negativity onto each other, so you can have a proper conversation, and like um, really get somewhere. But I see you saying at vegan festivals, so yeah, like a vegan festival would be good because everyone's already on the same page, kind of thing. Um, Hannibal, thanks so much for your lovely comment. I feel like I've got hair in my eye, which is why I'm just trying to do this here. That whoever the Reg Veer person is, I bet you any money has come from a flat Earth video. Yeah, he has. That is funny because this is another thing. Is like the flat Earth stuff. You just get so many people in spells that respond to you emotionally, and they defending something that they don't even like. They can't even prove they're under spells. Um, and you can tell because of how angry and bothered they get about it. If I was on here like saying unicorns were real, then Rajveer wouldn't be coming on and getting really mad and telling me all this stuff, how like I'm a crazy and all this kind of stuff. Just because we have a different opinion, he might think that I'm a bit like, what the fuck, unicorns aren't real or whatever, but that would be it. But because he's under a spell, because NASA was founded by Satanists and he's been tricked really easily um, by the Rothschilds and all of those who are putting all of these things into place. I hope that he manages to break those spells. It's almost like a bit sad that these people get so easily like mind hacked. Just reading comments. Yeah, raw vegan as well. Raw vegan I could talk about all day long um, because it just makes me feel so good and it's like really heightened my psychic gifts and my spiritual gifts and stuff. So raw vegan was just like a massive, like it was probably one of the biggest parts of my spiritual awakening, and I would advise anyone like definitely try. Definitely go raw and see how you feel. Like it's so healing. It's obviously filled with life force chi, life force energy. So that's one of the ways that you can build your chi really quickly for your ascension and to become that 13th sign, that 13th zodiac. Sorry to keep messing with my eye, but I really feel like I've got a hair in my eyes. I just need to see if I can get it out. Okay, I think that it's just going to stay there. Hannibal has been vegan for a year now. This was a very good one to evolve. Yeah, this is one of the things I'll say is like when you go vegan, because you're not eating the animal consciousness, you automatically ascend your consciousness, because it's like angels, the higher beings up here, then you've got human consciousness, and then below that is animal consciousness. A lot of us, because we eat animal products and we act like animals in the way that we're just like when we're younger, people shag around and they'll be orgasming every day and they'll be eating loads of junk food and drinking alcohol. And it's all about these instant earthly pleasures. And it's like living within the lower chakras, like lust and survival and things like that, needing material things. And so that is all the animalistic nature, and also the hormones within animal products, they mess up our internal chemistry, they mess up our hormones. So when the consciousness of the animal is trapped in our consciousness, and you call people a mad cow, or you say, oh, she's a cowherd, or oh, he's such a greedy pig, or that person's so chicken, they're so scared. These things are like basically the animal consciousness is within the person, and they basically integrate that in them. It drags them down. They're filled with the energy that the animal was killed with. So that's most likely they've got the hormones of adrenaline, the energy of fear, the energy of pain, sadness. What animals go through in the slaughterhouse is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I can't even bring myself to even think about it anymore, because it would just hurt my heart too much to imagine like getting dropped off with like your friends and your family, your group that you've kind of been living with. Your farmer's been looking after you, so you trust that person and you think they're looking after you, and they drop you off and leave you, and you can smell shit like fear, poo, where you can hear the screams of the pigs in the gas chambers, or you can like kind of like sense and feel that this is not a good place to be. And then like they're just all waiting, and sometimes they have to wait in a pen overnight, and sometimes they go straight in and they get put in this queue, in this line, and you can't move. You get channeled into this like chute, and all your family, your friends are behind you, one's in front of you, and you're watching each of them ahead, and that one ahead's just had its throat slit, and then you're next. Imagine a human actually going through that. Imagine you literally going through that. It's an absolute horror movie. So the fact we do it to animals who are like the innocence of children, and we do it to vegan animals as well, isn't that strange that you don't eat animals that eat meat? You eat animals mostly that eat plants and fruit and vegetables and stuff. So it's like, don't know, it's just like it's very sad. And one of the things that I wish is like, I appreciate not everyone on here is going to be vegan, so I don't I don't judge you guys or anything, and I don't want to like be pushing you away for talking about this. It's just kind of like the things that went through my mind as and when I experienced this myself. Um, but it makes me wonder, like, people just must not really want to open up their hearts to it, because if you really opened up your heart to it and thought about it, then I don't think you could possibly put them through that anymore. Brian, NASA movie makers. Yeah, exactly. I was wondering about Elon Musk as well, because obviously he's doing like the whole SpaceX thing, pretending he's sending rockets up to the sky, and it's like, but what about the dome? So I don't know, like I can't tell whether Elon is like doing things for the likes. Obviously, he's allowing people to share their truth on X and stuff like that, and he's allowing people to speak freely, and he seems to be kind of like putting people in their place, and yet at the same time he's introducing things like Neuralink and these rockets and stuff. And never I never liked Christian prophecy about these end times, but the more I'm like, seeing what's going on, I'm like, is God, I really hope it's not going to go like the Christian prophecy, but this is kind of what the Christians prophesize. And I've also heard rumors that the Antichrist is here, because I know that the Christ is here, actual Jesus Christ, the incarnation of the Son, like the sun in the sky, is on this plane. There's so many Christs, there's loads and loads of gods and goddesses that are here. So, like, any legend you can think of is here in a body right now. One of you guys might be an incarnation of someone. So, like, everyone's here. And, like, I've heard that the Antichrist is, he used to be like a president. I think he was like the 44th president or something. And I thought, no way, because he was the one that I really like back when, before I really woke up. I thought he was awesome, and I thought he was like really cool and like down to earth. And I was like, wow. And he was the first like president for ages that's not white. And I was like, couldn't believe it, because I thought, well, that's just a load of crap. Why would that be him when he's the most likable of them all? And then it's like, well, the Antichrist is meant to be the most deceptive, and you would probably choose someone that is like a minority or whatever, like, so that when you like, most people won't want to accept that he could be the Antichrist, um because I didn't even want to accept it, because of all of them, I'd really would have hoped it would be Bill Gates or something like that, rather than someone who seems really likable and feels really likable and has made achievements for like communities and stuff. So anyway, the Christian prophecy is saying that like, people talk about like either there'll be a rapture before or after this great tribulation, but basically saying that like there'll be a maybe be a group of Christians, but in reality, if it was going to happen any kind of way like this, it won't just be Christians, it'd be anyone that has awoken and that like has basically chosen that they want to go home. They'll instantly go, like a rapture or an ascension or whatever it is. I hope that when that happens, that every single person who's good or has even just got the potential to be good, I hope everyone gets to go, and it's only the real vile evil ones that stay down here. That's what I hope. But the prophecies are saying that there'll be some people who are like just not awoken, who will be down here, and they have to experience this 7 years of tribulation, of basically like living a really terrible experience in order to shake and wake them into finding and realizing God exists and realizing they need to go home. But this tribulation sounds absolutely terrible. And I've heard rumors of like people saying that like there'll be takeovers of different religions, and different religions will fight each other, and they'll be beheading each other, and there'll be someone who sets the stage for the Antichrist to come and take over like the world stage. So this could be Elon setting the stage for the Antichrist to take over power, and at first everyone will think he's a hero, and they'll all fall for him, like believe he's a hero and he's saved the world, he's saved the day, the new world order, one world government type thing. And then after that, he'll start turning evil and start trying to implement his negative plans on humanity. And the Neuralink is to disconnect people from God and to try and like disconnect their souls from themselves, and like then basically Satan trying to steal as many souls as he can. Now, I don't want to let that happen. And I don't want God to let that happen. And I would rather it be that can happen, but to all the evil ones. So like it becomes basically like all the evil ones just end up in their own hell. And we all, even those who haven't awoken yet, who have the potential to be good, I really hope, God, you have mercy on them and allow them to come up as well. Because I think that everyone, like I know myself, I was actually quite not a horrible person, but I had negative thoughts, and I used to like um I used to create negative things through my thoughts and through my words and stuff unconsciously. And I know what it's like to just not know God, because I never used to believe in God or know God, and I used to maybe even mock God at times, not all the time, but just like I used to think Christians were silly, or I used to like knock religion and stuff. And so I used to be exactly like what most people are, is just like believes in science more than anything else. And I woke up to God and realized that we do have a creator, and that we have like the universe is real, and that our real home's heaven. And wow, look what they're doing to us. So I did all that. But then I can look back at myself, my sleeping self, and I can have look at what became of a sleeping Gab. Like I was able to wake up, not only that, but do good and be good. And I see that potential in all of those who haven't awoken yet. So I don't want them to just have to suffer 7 years of hell just to awaken. I think instead that it would be nicer to give everyone more time to wake up, and then us all to ascend, rather than them having to suffer in that way. But then, like, what kind of is making me like, what the F is more and more like when you see and say people of, and it's nothing to do with Muslims, because I've got loads of friends who are Muslim, and the religions have got so much light in all of them, like all of the religions. But then you get extremists in all of them, including Christianity. All religions, you get these extremists. And so this when you're seeing stuff in the news, and it really probably is just all of this like trying to make us manifest that. It's probably just trying to make us think of all these negative things, and like get scared and stuff. Um, but then when you see, like, say in the UK, there's been so many stabbings, and there's more and more people of different like faiths coming in and fighting, and it's like, what, the biblical prophecies are playing out. So I really hope that it doesn't play out the same way that I just explained to you guys. Um, so what I actually think, this is what I think and hope. I'm just gonna check your. Yes, I'm a northerner. I'm from actually near Manchester, but I I went to uni in Leeds. Elon is a plant agent for the dark. He's a rocket. Yeah, okay. We're all as one. God is within us. All we all hold the light in our DNA. God code. Yeah. Keep showering kindness on the world. I like your videos on language. Yeah, a lot of people do. I think that's kind of the thing that people enjoy, is the different light land mage videos that I do. Islam means peace. So heart is your inner portal. Learn how to use it. Chosen is real. 2222 ascension. I will not interfere and subject my those. Love you all. I've been shopping in a halal shop for fruit and can't eat anything from a corporation supermarkets with poison in it. That's the thing as well. It's just like, it's getting to this point of like, like squeezing, like narrowing down into this kind of point where tensions are building, and what can we even eat anymore, and can we even drink the water? And it's like, God. I've had to, like, everything I've been eating has been like, oh, can't have that anymore. Oh no, can't have that anymore. It's like I'm left with like I need to just grow my own food or something. And I think it's probably pushing us all to go that way. But this is what my soul thinks is happening and is going to happen. So I spoke to my higher self about the random immigrants that have been coming like across, and it's nothing to do with actual real immigrants, as in people coming to live and enjoy the UK and like live like us, and like basically work and look after their families and stuff. It's like the illegal immigrants who are random people are taking advantage of it. And like some countries are even, this is in America, I don't know if it's in the UK, but they're letting out people out of the prisons and out of the mental asylums and coming over. And honestly, um, I wouldn't be surprised if it was all a plan to try and basically to purposely bring bad people in. And I spoke to my higher self. I was like, what is going on with all this? Is it going to be like a war on our land or what? And my higher self said, it's basically to awaken the divine masculine within the men here, because so many men, not you guys, if you guys are on here, I'm sure, but like so many like young stars have kind of grown up and just played on Xbox, or never really had to really stand up for themselves or stand up for their women and look after their women and family in the way that the male energy is meant to do as the protector. And there's a great awakening within. A balance of both energies, of divine feminine and the divine masculine, have both been toxic in ways. And so it's about healing both, and us all awakening those within us and rising into our positions and into our power and into the light that we chose, because we chose these boots, these bodies, to really embody this experience and making change through this. So I'm a woman, and I'm here and I'm embodying, making change in the way that I can, utilizing and maximizing the energies that I have available. And so my higher self said that these men are coming to threaten the masculinity of the men in the UK, and some of the men in the UK will have to fight, um, but they'll only fight if they have to fight, in the way that, as if like their soul, they need to actually fight in order to activate that part of them. So only those who actually need to do that will be the ones that end up getting in fights or whatever it is, but everyone else would be okay. It's more just like those who actually need to awaken the masculine energy and haven't done it in other ways, they'll be forced to do that through being in conflict and stuff. And I kind of feel like things are just looking worse and worse, but actually it's secretly getting better and better. This is what I'm thinking and hoping, because I've watched a bit of Pam Gregory's astrology, and she says up until the end of the year it's going to look like we're going backwards, but we're actually going forwards, and after the end of this year we'll start to really see us moving forwards. And I think about times in history, like say the 2012, or when it was the millennium, and there must have been so many people who were talking about, oh my God, it's the end of the world's going to end, or like any time change happens, like say when the first mobile phone came out, or when the first iPod came out or something, I could bet that there was loads of people saying they're going to kill us with radiation, like they're doing this so that they can whatever, like there'll have always been negatives to these things, and probably half true as well. And yet we all survived, we made it out the other side. And maybe they aren't that good having telephones, maybe they do fry our brains a bit and stuff, but we actually survived and came through and prospered on the other side. And so kind of hoping and thinking that any of these things that seem like a big deal, or they seem like they look like they could turn into a massive shit show in the future, I'm hoping that it's all just like a false perception, and really it's never going to be as bad as you think. Even like the COVID stuff, um when that first came out, I was like, whoa, what's going on? I thought they were trying to kill us with a virus, because coronavirus is an absolute anagram of carnivorous. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're trying to kill the meat eaters. Anyone that's got that's eating meat and stuff, they're going to get coronavirus through the meat. They're trying to kill people off. And then I realized that like it wasn't even like real. It could just be like electromagnetic weapons, or it's just the common cold, or if it was real, it's just really nothing. They're making it out like it worse than it was. And the those things that Brian's just talked about, the V things, they were actually pretty bad. My granddad died from it. So they were no good. That wasn't good that came out of it. But what I managed to do in COVID actually was like, I got to work from home. I was going on walks every day. Like it didn't affect me in any negative way. And I think that this is why when you're on kind of a different vibe, or you live in maybe a higher timeline or something, you don't have to experience things in the same way that other people do. So it's possible that um, none of these things will ever be as bad as the media makes out, or as people get scared of. Um, Hoping really that everything just gets better and better each way. And I would say as well, like since the full moon, I used to like watching TikTok and stuff and seeing what was going on, although I was just really seeing like every 5 videos is like people getting pissed off about someone, about something, and this like, you should be outraged about this in the world. Since the full moon, I don't really want to watch it. Like I used to like watching even YouTube videos or supporting Donald Trump and stuff like that. And I'm just not bothered about engaging with any of it anymore. I just don't even want to like I don't know, since the full moon, it's just like my soul's just like, just watch stuff that's about energy and the ascension and stuff. I don't like to ignore the reality of what's going on. I think that's stupid to just completely ignore it, because if it did get an issue, it's like having a rash on your arm or something, and you just ignore it and you're going, "Oh, it's fine. I'm just gonna keep going about my day as I'm doing, and I'm gonna keep living my life as I'm doing and doing all this stuff." And then your rash is getting worse and worse, and you're just ignoring it because you're just trying to visualize better, or you're trying to wish it away. Sometimes in real life, like you need to actually face stuff and deal with them. So it's stupid to just ignore things completely, but like, I'm fully aware of what the situation has been like, so I don't need to watch a video every single 5 minutes about it. I can kind of plug in each day, have a quick gauge of what's going on, and then just be like, "Right, cool, like, we're still there, are we? Okay, nothing new's happened yet in the world, cool. Now then, let me do my meditation. I might do some stretching and some yoga. I'm gonna do some music, create for the future." My mum always says, I might end it with this, but and then just have a quick look at your comments, but my mum always says to plant a garden is to believe in the future. And it's quite hard when the future feels uncertain to even feel grounded or safe in the present now. But if you can just at least pretend to yourself that the future's going to be great, and you may that like the future's just like every ray is just getting better and better, then I feel good to do my music, because I'm not just doing it thinking, oh, what's the point? Because we're all going to die in a few days. I feel good to go and plant my garden and start planting food, because I'm not feeling this. What's even going to happen? I'm talking about this because I was in that position like probably like 6 months ago. I was just there genuinely thinking like, shit, we might all just actually be dying tomorrow. What's the point in doing anything? And then I didn't want to do anything. I felt stagnant, or at least like I didn't feel like doing anything. I just felt like I just wanted to chill, but then I was just never getting anything done. Then 6 months goes by, and you've not done the music you could have done. You've not, you know what I mean? Like you can really stop and block yourself through this kind of getting caught up in what's going to happen and stuff. So the best way, I think, is to stay in the present moment, be vigilant, aware, be aware what's going on, be aware of your like what's around you, be aware of your energy, be on top of everything, be aware of your thoughts and your mind. And just hope for the best and have faith in God. This is really, faith is the best word for it, don't you think? How much spiritual reading do I do? I don't do any readings for people, and I've had scammers messaging people trying to get them to pay for readings and stuff. So if anyone messages you and it looks like me, and some of them have even sent audio clips that sound like me, giving people cleansings and stuff. Just don't ever send me what looks like me money. Unless you've actually come to my actual Linktree page and gone through the link and found it yourself. I would never message you saying that you need a cleansing and stuff. God will deal with every single one that's doing stuff like that. Drinking water out of a water distiller, but drink fruit juices. Yes, because when you drink fruit juices, I think it just goes into the cell. It nourishes the cell so much more than if you're just drinking plain water. People even say if you have some Celtic sea salt, it tastes so good, and you can just put a little bit under your tongue and then have some water, and it basically helps you really nourish yourself and hydrate yourself. Alaskan Avatar. So good to see you as well. Thanks for joining us. So just reading these comments. Yeah, Yamar, just looking at what you'd said about that flag being free already too. Praying for all war to be ended. No one should ever have to suffer war or anything like that. Ron, your sister is dying 2 years of Bell's palsy, now rare and aggressive cancer. Ron, have you, the Matrix Magic book? It gets you into ketosis. Ketosis is meant to be really good for healing cancers, and also it could help with the Bell's palsy. I would give it a try if it's possible. Try looking into ketosis and how it could cure. I'm just reading your comments, guys. Reading about spirituality. Okay, so I don't actually read books. I read one book from a spiritual awakening before I met my spiritual teacher, and that was called Journey of a Soul by Michael Tellinger or something. And it was basically recordings of lives between lives. And people were doing hypnosis and talking about what they remembered from before they came here and after they came here and things. And there was a second book that I read, which I would actually recommend, called, this is one great if you need to heal your divine feminine within and you need to strengthen and work on your feminine. It's called The Sophia Code by Kaya Ra. And it's like you work with these 8 different divine goddesses from the different religions. So one is Mary Magdalene, one is called Green Tara, who's from, I think, Buddhism or Hinduism. There's one goddess called Hathor, who is an Egyptian goddess. So you get to work with goddesses from all of the different paths, and you really resonate with different ones. There's one called Kuan Yin, and it's just so beautiful because there's these really powerful meditations and initiations that you do. And I really feel like it made a massive difference to me in connecting with them and feeling like it had healed and mended my relationship with women, because since young, really, I've always felt in competition with women and pretended I always preferred guy friends, but really I think it was because I was always jealous of women, because there was I think it was just not just lack of self-love, really. And so then I would feel like if someone else was beautiful or if someone else was in some way radiant, I would feel like I wasn't, kind of thing, like as if their radiance would deduct from mine, and yet somehow that's what I believed. And so I used to just kind of stay away from women so I wouldn't compare myself to them whilst I was around them. And then I was lacking in even connection to the feminine within God, because not even feeling connected to that divine feminine, the Mother Earth type thing. So it really helped me find that feminine within myself as well and feel more like a beautiful woman. You don't have to be beautiful on the external to be a beautiful woman. And it really helped with self-love and stuff. Other than that, I've not read any other spiritual books. It's very much been learning on the go through experience. Ron, if she's hesitant, because the ketosis, as long as you maybe if you wanted to like consult a doctor or be there with her when she triggers the ketosis, just so that if anything happens, you could just call the doctors or take her to the doctors or whatever. But ketosis, it is a natural state. It gives you a reset of the brain and the gut flora. And it's possible she's hesitant because of just spells and demons and negative energies in on around and near her. If she's unwell, she's a bit weaker in aurora and stuff, it is possible that there's negative entities feeding on her and they're not going to want her to be well. They're not going to want her to be strong and healthy. And so if you sense that, or if you think that it could be that it's not her soul probably wants to be healthy and well. She'd probably prefer to be healthy and well. So to be hesitant, to be scared and stuff, yeah, you might just need to reassure her, but you could probably also just say, say some spells to just cleanse her and clean her and make sure she isn't being taken advantage of by negative entities. So like, I delete all black magic in on around and near my sister instantly. I delete all evil in on around and near my sister and her life lighting game instantly. Just like delete anything negative that could be in on around and near her. You can also get her into ketosis remotely as well. You can do that if you felt like that would be something you would want to do. I've done it before. I've done it before on there was like a homeless guy who was on some kind of who was like really drunk or something, like almost passed out. And when you get into ketosis, because it corrects the chemistry of your brain, it can sober you up as well, and it can help you with addictions and stuff. So I did the spell on him as I walked past him to get him into ketosis so that he would have the alignment, because ketosis allows you to have a refresh. So it gives you like a new fresh chance, like a fresh start. Let's see, Ron, use the mudra. It works. She is on the other side of Canada. I think it's the woo-woo factor. Thanks for that tip. I will do is the remote method in the book. No, but what you would just do is you would just do that mudra that is in the book, and then the spell, the rainbow cross spell, you would basically just visualize this mudra, like pointing at her, visualize it making a connection. And then the spell, you say it as if you're commanding it to them. So let's say the spell was like, I am the light. Then you would go and connect to her and you would go, you are the light. And you hold that connection. And if you feel the shift, it's worked. You could say it a couple of times. It might not do like immediate changes, but sometimes I think people, when they've got cancer and stuff, they'll do ketosis and they'll actually eat the whole diet. So they'll be in ketosis as a constant state for like 3 weeks or months or something. And it's a gradual process. It's not like a miracle cure. Although it might be. I've never tried it with someone who's got that, but it might just help, or at least what's the harm in trying? So then let's just see. So what about mental illness as a spiritual crisis? There's no such thing as like spiritual psychosis and stuff. It's just a fake label put on spiritual people waking up to try and discredit them, to try and make them seem stupid or question themselves. When people have like mental illness, like depression or anxiety, or even believing that they've been born in like the wrong sex, like they think they're a woman but they're in a man's body, it's actually all it is a imbalance of hormones and chemicals within. So the reason that we feel these ways, depressed, anxious, like you're in the wrong body, like I'm a male inside but I'm actually a female, It's literally hormones and chemicals within. So once you can get into ketosis, and once you do that, it corrects the chemistry of your brain. It resets all of those hormones back to balance, back to homeostasis, back to how they should be and how God created you before you started eating the junk food that had chemicals in, eating the burgers that had testosterone in, that making you feel like a man because you've got too much testosterone, eating the whatever. There's so many ways you can out of balance your chemistry, smoking the cigarettes, whatever it is. So you can reset yourself, and then it can really help with these things. And of course, then you need to try and stay in balance in order to it's all created through lifestyle. So you can't just go and live your same life, eat the same crap afterwards, smoke the same stuff and expect change. You need to change yourself and change your life and change what you're doing in your life to get different results. Someone said, like, if you bake a cake and follow this exact recipe and it tastes like shit in the end, and if you want to make the cake taste different and make a better cake, if you follow the exact same recipe again, it would be stupid. That would be insane to do that and expect it to be different and expect change. So this is why you need to change the recipe. You need to change the way you've been doing things in order to see change in your life. Frequency sounds as well. Yeah, frequency sounds is massive. I'm really looking into this at the minute, the frequency sounds, because there's a lot to it and I'm wanting to put more of it in my music. So definitely. Let's have a look at comments. What about the control of raging bread hunger in raw vegans? How to stop bread ripping, chips munching, pie smashing hunger? So literally what you're talking about, S24 Sue again, is the addiction to carbs, to refined carbs as well. So that's like white bread, white pasta, crisps, or whatever it is, like refined carbohydrates. So it's just literally an addiction. All you need to do is reset the chemistry of your brain, and then you reset your addiction levels and back to normal, so you're not addicted to the carbs again. And then that's a great place to start when you're trying to then go raw. But I also advise doing a colon cleanse at the same time, because a colon cleanse will get rid of any refined carbs you've already got in there. So it just gets rid of everything. Then you get into ketosis, you've reset your chemistry of your brain, and then you just feel good and your colon's clean. You can absorb all the good nutrients of the raw. You can eat more, you feel full. And you've not already got like refined carbs in your colon that's like still being absorbed into your bloodstream, where you're still getting those kind of like cravings for those addictions. And if you've been eating real shit and you've got parasites and stuff, you definitely need to cleanse them out, because they release chemicals to make you want those crap foods as well. Yeah, ma, you're in ketosis for a few weeks after the workshop. It felt great, and you're healing from a few chronic conditions. That's awesome. 1,000% as well. Traumatic lives causes imbalance, because trauma is exactly the same as eating your junk food or you having your drugs. And what it literally is let's say we've got our chemical set points, how God created them in balance. We're in homeostasis, which means our body is functioning properly and normally. If, say, something traumatic happens, like major trauma, what happens is you have this mega rush or abundance of like adrenaline and kind of like all of these chemicals and hormones that stress and fear produce in order to protect yourself and survive in the moment. And you have this massive like wave of like adrenaline and like just feeling like pumped and all this kind of stuff. So then you're peaking up at this high, really aware and high, and then you crash and it goes low, but it goes past the point of homeostasis. Once you've gone past this line is balance, and it's like Once you knock out of balance and you either go up it or down it like that, once you go out, you have to go the opposite way. There's a law in the Kybalion that says every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So as soon as your hormone levels go up like that, it has to have an equal and opposite reaction. So it goes past normal levels and it goes down to being a low, and then you have an underabundance of feel-good chemicals and you feel low, depressed, weak, tired, anxious, all this stuff. And so what happens is you need something to pick you back up so you just feel normal again. So we're constantly trying to feel normal, but we'll have like junk food, or we'll take some drugs, or we'll have sex, or we'll buy some things, and then we get this rush again, but we go up again, and it's a wave, and it's called the sine wave or the sin wave. This is what it is to be in sin, because it's basically an emotional roller coaster of addiction. And it's this emotional or hormonal or chemical up and down that we exist in. So even in relationships, we have love-hate relationships because we love the way it makes us feel. It makes us feel high. But also if they do something that pisses us off, or they cheat on us, or they do something wrong, then we drop down low. And it's this constant, this is the snake. This is just basically what most people live their lives like. And enlightenment is getting back into balance. Ketosis is one of the ways to instantly reset and balance you back, to give you a fresh start. Hash cake, planting seeds is enjoying. Hannibal says, we are all particles of God. Love binds us together. To G ether, yes. To gather, yes. If I write text in this style, I feel like I'm crazy. Yeah, Ron says Ron, in the past, you've struggled with bread and pasta, but no anymore. Because obviously, even just saying statements like that ends up casting that spell on us, doesn't it? So, yay, it's been lovely. I honestly didn't know if anyone would turn up to this live. So I appreciate you being here. And what I might try and do is add you guys into like a moderator type thing, if you don't mind. There's only 8 of you, so then if we have anyone silly in the next one, and it, like that guy, that Rajvar or whatever it is, I hadn't read his other comment when he was saying something like he's not trying to be mean, he's talking about spiritual or whatever. I'd already ripped into him by that point before I read his comment saying he wasn't trying to be mean, but he did say like he feels sorry for my delusional state. Putting spells on me like that, I'm not going to have that in my chat. So if there was anyone like that in the future, it'd be good that we could, like, one of you guys could just get rid of them while I'm talking, because it's quite difficult to do both. So that is all from me. It's been lovely to chat with you. Thanks again for just always supporting, because it's like similar faces, and I appreciate you just being with me and sticking with me on the journey. It means a lot, and it's like a blessing really to be able to have our little group and to be able to do this journey of life. Why the fuck are we here? Why did we come here, guys? But it's good to have you guys here. Otherwise, I would probably actually just lose my mind and cry myself to sleep every night. So, oh, planting seeds has been used in electroculture. It is so good. So then I'm going to take a screenshot of your names. Hopefully, I'll be able to find your. Hopefully, I'll be able to find your profiles and add you into a moderator list, and then I'll see you on the next one. What I'm doing as well is I'm doing a live every September, but I'm moving over different social media platforms. So my next one is next September on TikTok. Then I'm going to Instagram. Then I'm going to Facebook. Then I'm back on YouTube. Then I'm back on TikTok, and I'm just going around like that. So I'm live every September, but it's just on different platforms, each one. So I'm going to do a post anyway with the next dates after I've done this tickers one. And there we go then. Just going to take a last screenshot, make sure I've got everyone in if possible. Right. Like you guys so much. Have a blissful evening, blissful day, whatever time it is for you. Keep shining your light. Keep being awesome. See you soon.